eccentric artist living in a small town, just suddenly stops doing his work and hoards it away, convinced that posterity is going to understand his work, that his whole life will be justified sometime in the future. And then, of course, that's exactly the way it turns out. I mean, that's a great story.
I am making pots for art's sake, God's sake, the future generations, and by present indications for my own satisfaction. But when I am gone, my work will be prized, honored, and cherished. George Edgar Orr, 1899, Biloxi, Mississippi.
He was one of the world's visionary artists, turn-of-the-century potter George Orr. He pushed the boundaries of style popular at his time into the next century. George Orr saw no limits in the vessel form.
Orr probably was the first abstract artist in the United States.
Because here he was, perhaps the most brilliant ceramist in America of the 20th century. He knew it, maybe 3 or 4 other people knew it, but he just could not communicate this to his community at large.
When you're confronted by a piece of ore and you say, oh my God, then you know you're looking at a pot.
This is a land vibrantly aglow with nature's colors. A land of tropical splendor. A land of year-round golf and of rewarding fishing. A land of scenic delights.
It's the 1960s in America's Riviera. New Jersey antique car dealer James Carpenter has been visiting the children of the late potter George Orr at their automobile repair shop in Biloxi.
This is America's Riviera.
The Orr brothers had inherited over 5,000 pieces of their father's work, with a stipulation they not sell the stored pottery for 50 years. Orr died believing the future would bring a better understanding of his art. He was determined to control his immortality. James Carpenter, intrigued by the collection, began seriously negotiating with the family to buy the pottery in 1968. The entire life's work of the potter Orr, a single collection unlike anything ever seen in the United States, was taken from the Gulf Coast town of Biloxi, Mississippi, to New Jersey in the early 70s. Before Carpenter's serendipitous visit to Biloxi, art historians had largely forgotten George Orr. If the dust-covered collection had not been unearthed in a cinder block building, taken out of Biloxi and offered, in a sense, to the world, Orr's bold prophecy of future fame would never have come true.
$14,000 bid now, $15,000. $15,000 against you on the phone now.
The pottery of George Orr is now considered to be some of the most valuable ceramics in the United States. Almost 20 years after Carpenter paid the family approximately $50,000 for the collection, essentially less than $100 per pot, some of George Orr's grander works sell for more than that individually, as much as $65,000 apiece. or knew very little acceptance of his work. When he ceased to create pottery around 1910, it ended one of the most engaging, eccentric, and ultimately misunderstood careers of any American artist.